All right, and here we are on the very last of the task types. It's the very last of the question types. We are at the last one in the reading section. Congratulations on making it this far. You have already made it past the halfway point. So this is the chart completion tasks. All right, now once again, with the official video, they have a different name. They call it the fill in the table questions, which once again is really bad grammar because first of all, fill in the table is a verb phrase, not an adjective phrase to describe questions, and these are tasks, not questions. Okay, doesn't matter. Those are just what they call them. They're experts at making exams, and I am a master at showing you how to totally dominate and master this exam. So with the chart completion tasks, okay, once again, skimming and scanning are absolutely vital. Intermediate level of English skills and vocabulary, absolutely necessary, just like all of the other question and test types. The comprehension of the purpose of some information. Okay, that will become a little bit more clear when I show you some examples. And the comprehension of the relationship between information. Now, what I mean there is, what is this information referring to? However, you won't really know this as you're reading. You won't know it until you see how the chart is supposed to be completed. Because in this question type, they give you a chart which has a couple different categories. As you can see, you will have the entire reading passage, and then here you have either 2 or 3 different categories, and you have to organize the different answer choices into each of those categories. Now, you'll see here that whether you have 2 categories or 3 categories, you will always have 5 correct answers. And you will always have 7 answer choices, which means that there are 2 answer choices which do not fit into any of the categories. And that's true of every single one of the passages. All right, so basically this is what you do. So on the entire exam, you'll have 0 to 1 chart completion task. That means that you won't have a chart completion task on every single one of the reading passages, but you'll have at least one of them. So you have to be aware that this task type is in relation to the entire reading passage, as I mentioned before. However, as you learned from the last task type, with that one, you didn't have to read the entire passage. This one, you also don't have to read the entire passage. But just like with the first question type in the reading section, you will definitely need to use your scanning abilities. You don't have to skim the passage beforehand, but you will definitely have to scan using keywords to find the information to make sure which information fits into each category. All right, so basically that's it. Let's take a look at some of the examples. All right, so here we have 2 categories. General history of Angkor Wat. Construction and restoration of Angkor Wat. Now, what we have to do is go through each of the answer choices, and of course this is just an example, and find if each of the answer choices fits into either the history or the construction and restoration. Now, this is one thing about this particular task type, is that there will always be 1 or 2 answer choices which are obvious. So that eliminates at least 2 of the answer choices, which means that in most cases, you really only have 3 to deal with. So when you're going through, you can quickly skim through the answer choices. When you find one that's obviously correct, put it into the category. When you find one that's obviously wrong, eliminate it. And then with the other ones, which are in the maybe category, just like with the last task type, then you have to scan the reading passage using keywords to find out which category each fits into. Now, with some of these, you might get lucky and you might get answer choices where it's all obvious and you already know from answering other different question types and task types, you already know the information from going through the reading section because this task type is usually one of the last ones. So basically, that's it. You don't necessarily need to worry about how to identify this this task type, like with some of the other ones, because it's obvious. You have a chart with 2 or 3 different categories, and you have 7 answer choices. You just have to go through and fit each one into the correct category. Some are obviously correct. You put them in the right category. Some are obviously wrong. You eliminate those. The ones that are left over, you have to use the keywords and your ability for scanning to find which category they fit into. And that's it. So that is the brief summary of the chart completion task, which is the last of the reading section. You are doing awesome. So that's pretty much it, and we will see you in the next lesson. Have an excellent day.